It's Leadership Monday once again, and it's my pleasure to join you. Olatunji Shobodu is my name, your anchor on Leadership Monday. On Leadership Monday, we drop a nugget or two to help you do leadership right. Today, I'll be speaking on how to trade your talent profitably. How to trade your talent profitably. And you can look at that also from a leadership perspective. And if you want to train your people, all right, on how to use their talent, to make the most of their talent profitably, then you want to listen to what I have to say this morning. If you want to trade your talent profitably, you have to trade the truth. If you want to trade your talent profitably, you have to trade the truth. Without trading the truth, profit is not in sight. Trading anything other than truth will get you nowhere. But you would ask, so what truth? What kind of truth? What is this truth that if I trade it, then I will see or realize profit from my talents? That's what I want to expose this morning. And I'd like to do that starting by looking at the parable of the talent. It's also called the parable of the miners. At Emet Leadership Academy, we're committed to the development of leaders based on truth. Our tagline is leadership nurtured by truth. And we find truth in the Word of God. So let's look at this parable. We all know this parable. In the book of Matthew, it's called the parable of the talents. In the book of Luke, it's called the parable of the miners. Pretty much the same thing. And here, without going, you can check it out. The reference is there for you on the screen. But we have a master or a leader who had 3 servants. And what did he do? He was going to be, we're told he was going to receive a throne. He was going to be installed king, somewhere. And so he left his servants with talents. Okay, he distributed talents to his servants, and he gave one 5 talents, he gave one 2, and he gave another 1. And we're told that he gave them according to their individual abilities, and he gave them a charge. He said, do business with this till I come. All right, some of the scriptures will read, occupy till I come. But some would interpret it to mean trade with this until I come. Trade with this until I come. You see how much profit. All that he was asking them is, I'm giving you this, I'm putting it in your care, utilize this talent profitably, utilize it well, make the most, realize the most return that you can get from it. I trust you with this, I trust you with this, I trust you with this. And that's what we do, all right, either as leaders, or that's what our leaders do to us. In whatever position you are holding, a responsibility has been entrusted to you to manage profitably, to realize as much value as you can, all right, while you have that responsibility. And that's what he did. And so he went away. When he came back after he had received, his throne, he then asked each one to render a report of what they had done. You know that, don't you? You know the story. And each of us, you learn to do that. And then, the first came and said, well, you gave me 5 talents, I doubled it. The second came, he said, you gave me 2 talents, I doubled it. Now I have 4. And, he said to both of them, he said, well done, well done. you good and faithful servant, you good and faithful servant. And then the third, he turned to the third, and the third started telling stories. Well, I knew that you were a hard man, you reap where you do not sow. And so, I decided to be careful with what you had put in my hands. So I kept it somewhere. I dug it, hid it away, so that when you come, I can give you your stuff intact. And then he looked at him and said, wow, all right, your statements have indicted you. Your own statements have indicted you. And he said, you are a lazy and a wicked servant. I mean, if you knew that I reap where I do not sow, and you weren't willing to invest what I gave you, why couldn't you put it in the bank? If you had saved it in the bank, at least when I come back, I would have received some interest. That's the least that I was expecting from you. That's what he was saying. So we had that kind of scenario. What happened? All the three servants, had the opportunity of trading their talent, in quotes. All right. And two of them did very well. But the other one did woefully. He was labeled wicked and lazy. The other ones were labeled faithful, or if you like, diligent and good. Good there stands for morally upright. All right, moral excellent. They did what was expected, what any leader would ordinarily expect. Okay, they were upright in their conduct. So the distinction between the two, question is, what made the difference between them? Why did some come, with profit from their trading, the trading of their talent, and this one came with story, all right, with just the talent without profit? First of all, what we see there is that, bringing your talent and showing it off, that yes, you have it, but you didn't use it profitably, is unacceptable. Let's settle that first. It's unacceptable. Whatever responsibility has been committed into your hands, there is a profit, in inverted commas, that, in quotes, that is expected. There is a profit that is expected. There is value expected of you to add. There is a contribution that you're expected to make. No contribution, your talent, you have made it look useless. And the talent is not useless. The talent is supposed to be traded. Your talent is supposed to be traded. Your talent is supposed to be traded. All right, not to be hung or kept or hidden. Now, whether it is yours or it is somebody else's, it's not especially, the one that you are drawing your pay from, because this servant was being paid. He was being paid. He was not going to be paid necessarily, from the profit that he realized from his talent, but he was there in the master's house drawing a salary, and here he was blowing some, grammar. What was the difference between them? So you would say, yes, the guys who did well actually traded their talent. And the ones who did not do well did not trade his talent. That is true. But the reality is, what did they trade? What did they trade? They traded truth. They traded truth. That's what they traded. The other guys knew that it's unacceptable to return the talent. They understood that talents are to be profitably traded. They are to be used to realize a profit. And so they committed themselves to work out that principle. So they understood that principle. But this guy obviously didn't understand the principle. He didn't understand the principle. There's another truth that they traded, that as long as they were drawing a salary from the employment of their master, they were under obligation to contribute positively. So there was no scope for them to go and tell stories. And the other guy didn't understand that truth. You can't be drawing, benefiting from somebody, and you're not willing to contribute. You cannot be drawing salaries from an organization and all you have to tell are stories is unacceptable. They traded that truth. They had a clear understanding of that truth. There's one more truth that they traded. They understood that the best option would not be to put the money in the bank. Obviously, guys who could generate 100% return within the period that the master was away knew that there were better options. All right. The master, from what he said, knew that the best he would have gotten from a bank is interest. Interest can never be up to 100%. It will be a far cry from that. But these guys had the understanding that they had to look for opportunities that were better than just putting money in the bank. And that itself is a lazy way of trading your talent. If you are not willing to sweat your talent, you won't get good returns for it. So they looked for opportunities that were riskier, because only riskier opportunities can give you the kind of return that they gave. So they understood, these principles, all right, of corporate finance. They understood these principles and they traded them. They put them to work. They put them to work. So they complied with the wisdom of Solomon, where he said in Proverbs 23:23, said, buy the truth and sell it not. Buy the truth and sell it not. That is the real asset to trade. Truth is the real asset to trade. Truth. It isn't so much the talent. The talent can't do anything by themselves. But the truth that you know, if you sweat it on the talent, it will produce the profit. The truth will unlock the potential in the talent that the talent themselves never realized was possible. The truth. Buy it to show how important it is. So in that responsibility that you have, what are you doing to buy the truth? What are you doing to buy the truth? But let me show you the most important truth that they traded. And we never look at this. Trade character. Trade character. Trade character. Trade character. You will see it. How did the master describe these high flyers? These guys who traded truth. How did he describe them? He said, well done, good and faithful servant. Let me put it this differently. He said, well done, diligent and morally excellent servants. You have been faithful in this little. Now I'm going to promote you to handle much. There is a secret there that is revealed, that the master was saying, I know the real secret behind this performance. I know it. It's not your skill. It's not the principle. It's not the fact that you knew that you needed to take greater risk. Okay? No. You played. It is your character that played out, because goodness and faithfulness, diligence and moral excellence, they are character attributes. And it should strike you and I why the man did not emphasize their skill. Why he didn't say, you guys are excellent, traders, and all of that. No. He knew that it wasn't the skill that produced it. It was the character. It took people of character, all right, to refrain from focusing on baseless stuff like the other guy was talking about. The other guy was saying, look, I know that you reap where you did not sow. So I only wanted to play safe with you, just to hide your talent, and give it back to you. At least I didn't lose you money. It was foolish because they actually lost him money. But it was wicked because you are accusing your boss of being a fraudster and you are still in his employment and you are still there expecting to draw a salary? All the while he was gone, you were being paid. You didn't complain about that. But now, when you are supposed to bring your own contribution, you are talking about fraud. And that was clearly a lie, because the master knew exactly who he was. Remember, he gave them talents according to their individual abilities. And this was the one he gave the least. He said, you are a lazy servant. It's not just that you are wicked. You are wicked because you are sitting down here drawing a salary and you are not willing to make any contribution. But you are lazy because all of that stuff that you've talked about, they are an excuse for you not to contribute. So you can see the reason why those two were used. And it simply reflected his character. It reflected his character. He was trading falsehood. It was not true that the master was reaping where he did not sow. It's the same master that went to a far country to collect a throne, to be made a king. At least we know that in this setting, there was no corruption. You are not made a king. It's a noble appointment where that is meant for people of strong character. So he couldn't have gone to be so honored, and you are telling us that he's a fraudster. They just don't gel. So we know you are lying. You are trading falsehood. You are depending on the falsehood to escape responsibility. Unfortunately, many people do that today. Working with leaders, they do that. They want to benefit, but they have no contribution to make. They are quick to criticize the leader, yet they are benefiting from what the leader is doing. They are benefiting from the largesse of the leader. And we are doing it today, even at the national level. On the one hand, we criticize the president. At our lower levels, we're doing worse things than what we're pointing, the accusing finger we're pointing, to the president. Hypocrisy all over the place. Hypocrisy all over the place. So these guys traded character. And the question is, where did they learn that from? Which is where I'm going to stop. They traded the truth about their master. They traded the truth about their leader. These were faithful servants who had learned from their leader, who had imbibed, developed these attributes from their leader. They traded their knowledge of who their leader was, what their leader was capable of doing, and that's how they realized, all right, the profit from their talent. So you're working with a leader. It's not about your skill. You want to profit from the responsibility you have been given, from the talent put in your hands. Look in the direction of your leader. Learn the truth by all means from your leader. Focus on knowing who your leader is, the character of your leader. That is the key to profitable trading of your talent. That is the key to profitable trading of your talent. Leadership, what it is. Jesus made it obvious in John 17, verses 3-4. He said it's all about the leader revealing himself to those who are following. All right? When you reveal yourself, you make them understand that the things that you do, the results that you get, this is how to get it. Those who are wise, who go for that truth, they trade it and they will reproduce after your kind. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. They need to learn from you. And the real you is in your character. So they need to secure, all right, the knowledge of the character that makes you tick as a leader. As they embrace that, believe that, imbibe that, put it to use, they will be like these servants who brought forth 100% returns from the talent that they were given. And that talent can stand for a lot of things. It can stand for your own talent. It can stand for the responsibility put in your hands. It can stand for any opportunity that you are called to. All right. What are you going to make of it? What are you going to make of it? It's not about skill. Skill is not unimportant, but it's not the most important. It's not the most important. Character will trump skill any day. Character will trump skill any day. I wish I could go into it, but I can show you that if you have skill and you don't have character, even if you are playing in the stock market and you are so skillful, because of your lack of character, you will bungle, the returns that you could have generated there. Because character, the lack of it, has a way of undermining your skill. Just as it has a way of amplifying the effect of your skill, the positive benefits that you can leverage from your skill. So that's it. It's an unusual approach, all right, that I've brought into you this morning, but it's truth right there. It is plain, simple truth. Those guys traded their talents based on truth, the truth about the character of their leader, which had caused the man to succeed thus far, up to the point where he was being given, a throne. And the leader recognized that in them, said, I know how you got this. Diligence, moral excellence is the same thing that I do. And that's what you have engaged. All right. That's the way it works. Thank you for listening today. God bless you. This has come to you, well, of course, by Emet Leadership Academy, where we nurture leaders based on truth, And let me just mention again that the Equip program is still on. Check it out. You'll find the link in the description. You need to undertake that journey. I have people I am taking on that journey currently, 40 consecutive days, walking through, all right, the parables of Jesus to build, to upgrade, our capacity to excel. You can't understand it until you get in line. It's an adventure like no other. And I guarantee that it's not something that you have done before. In case you have done it before, share your experience. But I know the average person, 9 in 10 people have never undertaken, that journey. 9 in 10 have never undertaken that journey. And it's just difficult. It's difficult to describe, okay, the experience. It's difficult to describe the experience. Chiso, thank you for joining me this morning. All right. What else do I want to mention? Check out, yes, there is the Equip. Don't forget, there is the Antidote, which is another program. You see the link, you can check them out, and register, if you want. There is New You, which you can also, get on to, effect certain changes in you so that your performance and your effectiveness can be upgraded. And of course, there is also our programs on office politics. You can find the link there. I don't think I have anything to show you right here yet. Tomorrow is going to be Leader Spray. Leaders pray comes in the evening from 7 to 8, usually not up to 1 hour. But leaders ought always to pray and not to faint. Leaders ought always to pray and not to faint. And leaders don't pray about just anything. All right? They pray within the context of their responsibility. You want to know what it is? Come check it out. Join me, and you would learn what it is, and you would learn how leaders pray, what leaders need to pray about. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you very much once again. There's Leadership in 30 Minutes coming up on Thursday, and I'll be speaking, actually, I think I can show you that, on top 8 mistakes that new leaders make. Top 8 mistakes that new leaders make. You want to know it, you want to avoid it, join me. Same time, 11 a.m. West African time on Wednesday, and I would share those insights with you. Once again, thank you very much for today. It's been Leadership Monday, and I have been and remain Olatunji Shobodu. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I pray that it will be a profitable one, just like the one that those servants experienced. All right? Take good care of yourself and lead right. All right? And lead right. Bye-bye.